Hi, I'm Maverick O'Sullivan, and welcome to part 3 of my 2-part Christmas special.
For a guy with a math degree, you don't seem to know how to count.
You're welcome. So for those of you just jumping in, you do not have to see the earlier parts to appreciate this one. Each part is standalone. Previously on Maverick O'Sullivan's Christmas special. Who would I convince of the existence of Santa? Now, for the epic conclusion. Bear in mind, I was still pretty young, and my family was pretty controlling. So my allowance was basically credit that they would keep track of, I would keep track of too. And so when we went to the store, if I wanted to get something, then they'd pay for it and subtract that from my tab, my account, whatever you want to call it. But this is significant because they knew every single thing that I bought. Except that at school we had a different kind of currency. We would trade in cards and pogs. And I was really good at this. I had managed to accrue quite the card and pog collections. And so I was able to make a purchase of sorts that they did not know about. A Sega Genesis game for my Sega Genesis back then. And this is important to the story. Come Christmas morning, after gifts and everything, I find an opportunity to be a little suspicious as I sneak back to my room. And naturally, they're like, what is he up to? He's clearly up to something. And, they follow me back and they catch me discovering a gift. Like, oh, what, are you hiding something? No. Santa hid it. They're like, okay. Now I used completely different wrapping paper from them too, which was also part of throwing them off. Well, anyway, I'm getting this gift out and everything. I open it up and it's a video game. And they're like, well, obviously one of them must have bought it. And each of them is like, well, I know I didn't buy it. So the other one must have bought it, right? Like, you bought that for him? I didn't realize it. Why didn't you tell me? No, you bought it. Stop joking around. And so they've got this little back and forth going and everything. I'm the only one who really knows what's actually going on. And it gets better. It was in the same place that Santa left a Japanese candy last year. I knew you would never get me Japanese candy. So when I told Santa, I said he should hide it in my room. And then this year I was like, hey, maybe he hid something again, and he did. Now the video game in question was a Mortal Kombat game in a PG-13 household. Like, there was no way either of them would have bought that. They both knew what that was. And so they're really confused. And the Japanese candy thing is because I threw that in there because it's like I knew they would never buy me Japanese candy, especially my dad. He wouldn't buy me anything that wasn't American. like those things from other countries are weird. So yeah, that's the little secluded household I lived in. So they knew something was up, and they started to be like, did someone break in? I'm like, yeah, someone broke in. Santa. Santa breaks in every year. You're funny. They're like trying to figure out who left this. Because I couldn't have. I didn't have the capability of doing that. And they're just really trying to figure this out. And they think the other is playing a joke on them. Both of them are like, all right, stop fooling. Like, no, you stop fooling. And there you have it. 2 adults who tried to convince their child that someone would break into their house only to leave gifts were unwittingly pulled into the very same ruse that they devised. This is the Twilight Zone. If you enjoy this one and you want to see the other parts or other material of mine, you can find me on YouTube under the name Maverick O'Sullivan. If you want to find me on Facebook, I also post all my videos there under at comedian Maverick O'Sullivan, all one word. I mean, can't you just believe that I wanted to give 150% to my fans? Maybe I just didn't plan ahead on the numbering perfectly? Or maybe I considered like, hey, maybe I'll get people to come back if I like work on their anticipations a little bit, or maybe I'm just having fun with it. Could be all the above.